On behalf of the Department of Pediatric Dentistry, Government Dental College and Hospital, Mumbai, I welcome all the dear viewers to this live demonstration of a prefabricated space maintainer. Well, we all know what space maintainers are, but today what we are going to show you is something very unique, something very new, a prefabricated space maintainer. That means a ready-made space maintainer. This has not been launched in India yet, and I take this proud privilege to announce that the Department of Pediatric Dentistry at GDCH Mumbai is the first, not just in the state, but in the country to bring forth to you this unique yet so simple prefabricated space maintainer. So let's get started to understanding what I'm talking about. Have a look at the picture. The picture on the left, you will see that there is a man beavering to move a box with bare hands. And we all can imagine the amount of work that he is putting into it. Whereas the picture on the right, we see that the man is performing the same work, but in a smart way by utilizing wheels so that the box is moving in the least effort and in a labor-saving way. Similarly, when it comes to space maintainers, we have also come a long way, right from the conventional band pinching to the more later ones, the prefabricated bands, and today what we are going to see, that is the prefabricated space maintainer. We all know that space management in the developing occlusion is a very important part of interceptive and preventive dental care. Space maintainers guide the eruption of the permanent teeth and obviate the need for complex orthodontic treatment later. The dental profession has recommended the use of space maintainers to reduce the prevalence and severity of malocclusion following the premature loss of primary teeth. So what is a space maintainer? Boucher has defined space maintainer as either a fixed or a removable appliance that is designed to preserve the space created by the premature loss of a tooth or teeth. And the objectives of giving a space maintainer is, number one, to preserve the primate spaces, to preserve the integrity of the dental arches, to preserve the normal occlusal planes. And as far as the anterior space maintenance is concerned, it also aids in aesthetics and phonetics. Coming quickly to the classification of space maintainers, well, there are different classifications. The one which is more commonly used is our Hitchcock's classification. And according to this, space maintainers can either be removable or fixed or semi-fixed. They can be with bands or without bands, functional or non-functional, active or passive, or combinations of the above. Before we decide to give a space maintainer, we are supposed to know the ideal requirements. So the first ideal requirement is it should maintain the entire space that was created by the lost tooth. It should restore the function to some extent, should prevent the supra-eruption of opposing teeth, should be simple to fabricate. It should be strong enough to withstand the occlusal forces. It should not interfere with the erupting teeth. It should not exert undue forces of its own. Should not restrict the normal growth and development process. And at the same time, it should permit maintenance of oral hygiene. But friends, please remember that no space maintainer will fulfill all of these requirements. And the best space maintainer is a primary tooth in sound condition with good proximal contact relations. So what happens when a primary tooth is prematurely lost? The major consequence is the delayed eruption timing of the permanent successors. Early loss also causes a shift in the dental midline towards the side of the tooth loss. It can also cause ectopic eruption of permanent successors, and the premature loss of primary teeth, specifically because of caries, will cause tipping and drifting of the posterior permanent teeth. Now that we have decided to give a space maintainer, we have to remember a lot of factors that goes before planning the space maintainer. The first factor is incidence of space loss. Please remember that almost all the cases of early primary molar loss show some decrease in the arch length. Number two, the time that is elapsed since loss. Most of the space loss usually takes place during the first 6 months after the tooth is lost. Space closure tends to occur more rapidly in the maxillary arch as compared to the mandibular arch. And it is best to insert an appliance as soon as possible after the extraction. The third most important factor is the stage of development or the dental age of the patient. In general, more space loss is likely to occur if the teeth are actively erupting adjacent to the area left by the premature loss of the primary tooth. Also, teeth actively erupting adjacent to the edentulous area have a greater effect on the amount of the space lost than the fully erupted teeth. The next factor to consider is the amount of space closure. Loss of maxillary second primary molars results in the greatest amount of closure, almost up to 8 millimeters of space loss in that quadrant. Whereas the loss of the mandibular second primary molars shows the next graded amount, that is almost up to 4 mm in that quadrant. The fifth factor is direction of closure. The maxillary posterior spaces, they close predominantly due to a mesial bodily movement and a mesiolingual rotation around the palatal root of the first permanent molars. In contrast, the mandibular spaces close primarily by mesial tipping of the first permanent molars along with distal movement and retroclination of teeth anterior to the space. The sixth factor to remember is the eruption timing of permanent successors. The eruption timing of a permanent successor may be delayed or it may be accelerated after there is premature loss of a primary tooth, depending on the developmental status, depending on the bone density of the area, as also the nature of the primary tooth loss. Several studies have indicated that the loss of a primary molar before 7 years of age leads to delayed emergence, whereas a loss after the 7 years of age leads to early emergence of the succedaneous tooth. The other factors are amount of bone covering the non-erupted tooth, prediction of eruption based on the timing of primary tooth loss, and the stage of root development is not reliable if the bone covering the permanent tooth has been destroyed by infection. A guide is that Premolar usually requires about 4 to 6 months to move through 1 mm of bone as measured on bite wing radiographs. The next factor is abnormal oral musculature. A strong mentalis muscle pattern may have a pronounced negative effect after the loss of mandibular primary molars or canines with collapse of the arch and a distal drifting of the anterior segment. And last but not the least, congenital absence of permanent tooth. Before giving space maintainer, the presence of a normal successor must be ensured through radiographic evaluation. So, numerous types of space maintainers are available for space management. We are not going into those details. What we are concerned about are the ones we are routinely using it in our day-to-day practice. And amongst them, band and loop space maintainer, lingual arch, and Nance's palatal arch are the ones most commonly used. For our demonstration and for introducing the prefabricated space maintainer, we have selected the band and loop space maintainer. Why band and loop? Because it is the oldest, it is the simplest to fabricate, and it is the most commonly used. More so, it can be given to the youngest of the patients because it is very quick, it takes less chairside time, and it can be conveniently used. And that is why it is one of the best space maintainer in primary dentition, which does not interfere with growth. So what kind of space maintainer is band and loop? Well, if I had to classify, band and loop space maintainer comes under the category of a fixed space maintainer because it is cemented. It is a unilateral space maintainer. It is non-functional because it does not serve the function of mastication or aesthetics. And it is a passive space maintainer. Indications for giving the band and loop space maintainers are, it is usually given whenever there is a space created by the premature loss of any primary molar. As you can appreciate to the picture on your right, you will see how the space has been lost of the first deciduous molar and a band and loop space maintainer has been given. And now coming to the actual case. A 4-year-old female patient came with the chief complaint of pain in the lower right back tooth region since 15 days. The history given by the patient was extraction of a posterior tooth on the lower left side 1 week back in a private dental clinic. So when we examined the patient, we noticed that 7-4 was clinically missing and 8-4 was the area of chief complaint, which was grossly carious, which was non-restorable. We also noticed that there was occlusal caries with both 7-5 and 8-5. The plan was to extract 8-4, to restore 7-5 and 8-5, and to go ahead with giving a space maintainer for the missing 7-4 and the would-be missing 8-4. Since the eruption age of the permanent successor is approximately 10 years, we decided to give the band and loop space maintainer because the child was 4 years of age and the first permanent molars and the permanent incisors had not yet erupted. The entire procedure was planned under nitrous oxide oxygen inhalational sedation and local anesthesia was given. I feel very proud to announce that the Department of Pediatric Dentistry routinely takes up all the children for any kind of dental procedure under nitrous oxide oxygen sedation. The reason is we believe in giving maximum comfort to our child patients so that they leave the dental chair with a very pleasant experience and they do not have any anxiety during the procedure. Neither do they remember the procedure once they are out of the dental chair. Most of the patients who come and visit the department are taken up under this conscious sedation. To move ahead, the treatment plan was explained to the parent and the informed consent was taken for the same. As you can see how well detailed is this informed consent. I'm not going to go into the details of the form, but this is a very, very important step for pediatric dentistry. In this case, we are going to do the conventional band and loop space maintainer for the missing 7-4, and we will be showing you the newly launched prefabricated band and loop space maintainer, or I can also say that the direct technique of space maintainer for the missing 8-4. So let's start with the conventional method first. As you can see in the video, this is the 8-4, which is badly carious, which is non-restorable, and 8-5, which is showing the occlusal caries. What you see in the video here on the left is a prefabricated band kit with different sizes of the bands. So earlier we used to do a conventional band pinching, but now we have ready-made bands available. So the kit that you are seeing on the left of the slide is your prefabricated bands. There are different sizes. And what you're seeing on the right is the armamentarium that is required, namely the band pusher and the band seater. Coming to the next slide. This is the preformed band kit. As you can appreciate, the child is under conscious sedation. What we are doing over here is selecting the appropriate size of the band for 7-5. Once the band has been selected, the next step is to adapt the band. I will show you the video again. This is the adaptation of the band. The next step is recording of the lower arch with an alginate impression. Take the impression of the lower arch with the help of your perforated impression tray. As you can appreciate to the picture on the right, the alginate impression. The band is now removed from the tooth and it is stabilized on the impression. This is a very, very important step. The band should be removed carefully and it should be stabilized on the impression. And now you have to ensure that the band should not get disturbed when you are pouring this impression. So you need to stabilize this band with the help of bobby pins, as you can see in this picture. But textbook says there are different ways of stabilizing the bands. What we are showing you here is stabilization with the help of bobby pins. The next step, after you have poured the cast, you have the cast with the band in place, you go ahead with making the loop. The loop is made with a 19 gauge stainless steel wire. What you can see in the video below is preparation of the loop. And if you can appreciate the picture on your right, you will see the cast with the band in place and the loop that is made and nicely resting on the cast. So now we go ahead and we decide to now solder the loop to the band. Before you solder the loop to the band, you again stabilize the loop. And stabilization is done by pouring a little amount of stone over the loop. The next step is soldering of the loop to the band by using the flux, the solder wire, and the soldering torch. So this procedure is being done. As you can see in the video, it is my dental technician, Mr. Prasad Wagh, who's doing this excellent job. Once the soldering has been done, we now move ahead and we go ahead with the final finishing and polishing of our band and loop space maintainer. Students, the finishing and polishing is a very, very important step because this eliminates any sharp ends. It gives a smooth and a shiny surface, which ensures that there will be no food collection over the space maintainer. So the final finishing and the polishing is done with the help of various stones and the buffs and the rouges. As you can appreciate, the band and loop space maintainer nicely polished. It has a shiny surface now. This is how it looks now placed on the cast. And we move ahead to the cementation of the space maintainer. For cementation, you can use any adhesive luting cement. We are using glass ionomer cement with all the obvious advantages that GIC has over other luting cements. Fill up the band with a mix of glass ionomer cement. Achieve good isolation in the patient's mouth with the help of cotton rolls. Place the space maintainer into the patient's mouth quickly before the GIC sets. Remove the excess luting cement with the help of your plastic instrument. All the excess cement has been removed now. So there are a lot of advantages of this conventional technique. It has a good accuracy if your proper band adaptation is there. The loop fabrication can be done as per the tissue contour, and the area of the extraction socket, it is self-cleansable as the chances of food lodgement is very, very less. But at the same time, though it is the simplest space maintainer, though it was and it is still one of the best space maintainer, there are a few drawbacks to this space maintainer. Number one, it requires at least 2 appointments. In the first appointment, you are going to do banding, take the impression, and you are going to call back the patient after your appliance is ready for delivery. So it requires at least 2 appointments. Impression making is required, which could be a little difficult in a young or an uncooperative child, or even children with severe gag reflex. It requires more laboratory time, as you already saw. Elaborate armamentarium is required, which includes band pinching instruments, your spot welder machines, your soldering armamentarium. Also, if the patient does not show up on time or has a delayed follow-up between 2 appointments, then there are quite a few chances that the tooth that is posterior could get drifted, and then your space maintainer will become useless. You'll have to remake it. And this is not a suitable technique for general anesthesia procedure. Also, when you are making the space maintainer, while you are actually fabricating the appliance, you could come across a lot of technical errors, right from your impression making to displacement of the band when you are taking the impression, displacement of the band when you are stabilizing it, and displacement of the band when you are pouring the impression, and also when this loop has to be stabilized during the soldering procedure. So it is technique sensitive, and you could land up with any of the errors that I have mentioned here. So all these errors, all these limitations of the conventional technique are now going to be eliminated with these newly launched for the first ever time by the Department of Pediatric Dentistry, not just in the state, but in the country, the prefabricated space maintainer or the direct technique space maintainer. What are these prefabricated space maintainer which I'm talking about since such a long time? Well, they contain prefabricated bands, but these bands have got welded tubes and they are of various sizes catering to all the primary molars. These tubes or these band and loop space maintainers have got two components, the female and the male units. The tubes that are attached to the bands will receive the loop which is given in the kit and will abut to the adjacent tooth. And this loop can be adjusted by cutting the loop as per the mesiodistal space requirement. So this is the prefabricated space maintainer kit. What you're seeing on the left are the various prefabricated bands with welded tubes of the various sizes. And what you see on the right are the different loops that are available in the kit. The only armamentarium that is required is just a wire cutter and a crimping plier. So now let us see how we are going to give this prefabricated space maintainer. And friends, you can recollect the earlier video that I have shown you about the conventional technique of the band and loop space maintainer, which we gave for the missing 7-4, and compare it to this new video about giving a space maintainer in region in place of 8-4, which we are now extracting as seen in the video. As you can see, the child is under nitrous oxide oxygen sedation. I was telling you earlier, see how the child is comfortable. The child is just 4 years. But see how well the child is receiving local anesthesia. There is absolutely no anxiety. Smooth extraction of 8-4. The bleeding is being arrested. Once the bleeding is arrested, we go ahead to trying and selecting the right size of the band. The band is chosen such that it fits tightly around the tooth and is well adapted to the shape of the molar. And the video that you are seeing on the right is the adaptation of this prefabricated band. I'll show you again. Yes. So we selected the right kind of band from the kit and we placed it and we adapted it. The next is selection of the loop from the kit. As you can appreciate over here, we have put the loop, the female component, the female and the male component. One is the tube and one is the loop. So we are attaching it into the tube. Yes. And this is how the picture on the right, if you can appreciate, it looks like the loop has to go into that tube. But remember that the length of the loop is always going to be slightly more. So you have to measure it and then use your wire cutter and cut this extra length that is there. So we are cutting both the sides of the loop. Cut a little bit at a time, not too excess. Retry it and keep doing it till you achieve your exact length. Now, after cutting it, again the loop is put into the tubes. And once it has been put into the tube, we need to make it firmly into place, which is done with the help of your crimping plier. With the help of crimping plier, the tube is pressed so that the loop gets retented inside. Appreciate the video on your left where you are crimping the tube. And now if you see the video on the right, you will see that the loop is not coming out from the tube. After all the adjustments are done, just try the appliance and do one final intraoral crimping just to ensure the correct fit of the entire loop. So you saw how easy it is. There was hardly anything done. We just straight away finished with the extraction. We selected the right size of the band. We went ahead with the selection of the loop. We cut the extra length of the loop. We retented the loop to the tube with the help of crimping pliers. We put it into the mouth, and now the final step is the cementation, which is done as we cement any other appliance. Again, we have used glass ionomer cement over here. Mix it well. Fill your space maintainer, the band, with the cement. Place it into the child's mouth. Quickly, after proper isolation. And the space maintainer is done. Everything in one single visit, right from extraction to the delivery of the space maintainer. How beautiful this is. After that, evaluate the occlusion. Ensure that it does not come in the way of occlusion. This is the occlusal view. This is the lateral view. On the right is seen the lateral view of occlusion. Yes, as you can see that it is absolutely fantastic. And this is the final post-operative video of the case of a 4-year-old child where we have given the conventional band and loop for the missing 7-4 and the newly launched prefabricated band and loop for the extracted 8-4. So just like any other space maintainer, we have discussed both the conventional as well as the direct technique. We have all seen the procedural errors regarding the conventional space maintainer, like impression making, band displacement, band stabilization. All those errors are now eliminated when you are giving this prefabricated space maintainer. So friends, you can see how much time is saved and so many errors are eliminated. If I have to compare this direct technique space maintainer, well, it is a single sitting procedure. No impression making is required. As you saw, a very little chair side time. There is absolutely no lab procedure required. Very easy to fabricate. And the most fantastic part is it is very, very feasible for giving it to a child who's taken up under general anesthesia. General anesthesia, you are going to give just once. So all this while, space maintainers were never possible to be given in a child under GA. We could do pulpectomies, we could do crowns, but we could never give space maintainer. But with this technique, we can give even space maintainer under general anesthesia. The average time that the entire procedure took was hardly 20 minutes, which is so acceptable by the patients as well as the dentist. And this technique can be adopted by all the dental practitioners as a routine chairside technique, as it has all these fabulous advantages over the conventional technique. But well, everything comes with its own limitations and its own disadvantages. So the disadvantages, what we came across when we were handling this particular patient. Number one, the buccolingual width of the loop and the loop distance is slightly more, and we had to adjust that. Number two, if there would have been a distal tilting of the canine, it would have been difficult for the placement of the loop. And third, there could be chances of food lodgement under the recent extraction socket, since we are placing the prefabricated space maintainer immediately. Coming to the end of this session, I hope you remember the first slide that I started with about two people moving a big box. So the answer, as you can see in this picture, is very obvious, that the person who was moving the box with hands became very tired and he was not able to reach the finish line. Whereas the other man who used wheels happily reached the finish line in very less time and with very less efforts. So what I'm trying to tell you here is, why not use something by which the dentist becomes less tired and less fatigued? Just as there has been various change in the trends from the old method of band pinching to the newer prefabricated bands, why not move a step ahead and adopt these beautiful prefabricated space maintainers? The most oldest method of band selection and band pinching procedure is also now avoidable if you are using these space maintainers. There is total ease of treatment. There is going to be very less discomfort to the child, and it has proved to be a boon for pediatric space management because of the various advantages that I described above. With this, I would like to conclude this session. But before concluding, I want to thank the person who has invented these prefabricated space maintainers, Dr. Mukul Jain, the director at Kids eDental. Thank you, Dr. Mukul Jain, for introducing such fabulous prefabricated or the direct technique space maintainers for us, and also providing us the kit for the same. I would conclude by thanking my entire Department of Pediatric Dentistry, especially my Associate Professor, Dr. Vilas Takate, and all my postgraduate students who took keen interest in the making of this video and for getting and bringing to you all this lovely presentation. Thank you all so much. Thank you.